Hello YouTubers! I'm going to kill two birds with one stone today. I'm going to do the Warped Blacksmith Challenge for November, which is making a leaf. That's the first leaf I've ever made. I know it's a little crude, but that's my first. And then I'm going to take that and use that as a handle for my coal dauber. Just finished making it, just tried it out. Take a look. It is a wet and rainy Saturday. It is, I believe, November 18th. Trying to get my fire going here. And I don't know why I've got a cap on the top of this flue, but it just lets my coal was soaked. So I got her going here. Trying to get this piece of 3/8. It's actually a piece of 3/8 coal roll. I'd rather had hot roll, but this is what I had on hand. And we're going to do the Warped Challenge for November. And I'm not waiting till the last minute this time. What do you think of that? Let's see if we're getting any redness. A little bit. A little bit. I just fired this up, so it's not real hot yet. What I did was I got a fire in my wood stove and brought a pan full of hot coals out and dumped them in the middle and started pushing coal in around it. And I'm getting her going that way, but it's slow going. I'll bring you back when I start making some noise. Okay, so let's make a leaf. I want to put a sharp taper on the end of this. I'm holding my stock at an angle and I'm hitting on an angle, and I'm trying to hit past the end of my anvil so I don't hit the anvil. Now I'm going to reheat it and let it hang over the end and set it down. And let it hang over the edge and do a half on, half off hit. Okay, I'm already lost my heat. I don't know how these pros can keep that heat in there so long. Okay, I want to take it more of a longer taper here. Then every time before I go back to the fire, I'm going to kind of just straighten things out a little bit. Got that pretty straight. Now I got to remember how to do this. Okay, we're going to see if we can turn the end of this thing into something that resembles a leaf using my cross peen. Actually, it's an angle peen. Didn't get my stem very thin, did I? But it does kind of look like a leaf. Okay, I hope I didn't let it get too cool. We're going to take my kind of dull chisel here. Try to add a vein right down the middle of that leaf. Got to heat it up again. Now I'm going to take and put some Well, it looks pretty pathetic, but there it is. My first ever leaf. Now what I want to do is bend this around to make a handle, and then this end will get tapered to a point. First off, I want to finish rounding this a little bit. Did exactly what I wanted to be careful I wouldn't do. And that was bend that around the horn so my leaf texture was on the inside rather than the outside. So I got my scrolling tongs here. Let's see if I can turn that. Looks like it's turning. And let's put a little hook on the end of that leaf. Now that will be a nice little handle to hang on to, and then I can hang it by that hook on my front of my forge. So now I'm going to let it cool down. Going to let it cool down because it's pretty toasty, and then we'll start working on the other end. As crappy as that looks, I'm kind of happy with it. She fits in your hand pretty good. Now we need to draw this other end out to a point. Using the rounding side of my hammer. Now the flat side to kind of flatten out what I've done. I want to draw this out to a real sharp point, but if I do that right off the bat, I run the risk of burning that little point off because it's going to be so small. So I want to start at this end and push it on out to a point. Okay, we got it warmed up back here a little farther this time. Now I'm gonna start taking the back end here and hitting the corners, which will turn it into more of an octagon shape. And then I'll just roll it and we will go back to a round. Okay, I'm going to keep working this area and work my way to the pointy end. One more heat and we'll bring that right on out to a point. I've got a bad spot right in here. Okay, I'm going to get some things into my leg vise and move you over there, and we'll be right back. Okay, that'll get me started. Okay, here we go. I hope. There we've got a loop. I want to get another loop here. Got a couple turns. I'd like to get it a smaller diameter than that. Let's see what I can do. Put a piece of 1/2 inch in here. I don't know if these tongs are going to be. That helped. I'm going to heat it up and straighten that out. What I want is the coil off the end that direction. Let's warm it up again. We're getting there. Now I just need to work that into a little bit straighter coil, and I want that end to hook around like that to keep the rag from falling off. Let's go back over to an anvil. when my wife and I were on vacation last month, we went to that elephant trunk flea market. I can't remember what state that's in. Connecticut or somewhere over there. I picked up this little rawhide mallet hammer, and it's just what you need to straighten out stuff like this, and not after you got it round and stuff, you don't want to start putting more hammer marks back into it. I don't know, I think I need to open that up a little bit. It's a little bit too closed to be able to get my rag onto it. So we'll just go over to the fire, open that up. Got my little pair of scrolling tongs. These are some I made out of those blanks I burnt at work. Okay, it's still pretty warm. I'm going to put a coating of beeswax, if I can hang on to it. On this. And that should help keep it from rusting too much. When it's got a wet rag on it all the time. I saw someone posted on someone's, I think it was Roy at Christ-Centered Ironworks. They said put arrows on your brush and always brush that direction, and it helps make it last longer, because if you're going this way, then you're going this way, it's just bending them back and forth and messing them all up. So I'm going to give it a shot. So I'm going to let this cool off now, and what I think I'm going to do is heat this end back up and try to bend this around a little farther to get me a little more handle to hang on to. See, it's a little short in my hand. And then I'll wax this end of it. Let's just go down here to this horn. I kind of like the looks of that, but I want it so I can hang it on that bar. So I got to bend this up. I got to heat it up so I can bend it up. But I think I got enough handle there in front now. I'm going to have to get my other ones. Okay, this is a pair of scrolling tongs that I got down at Quad State. I'll show you the difference as soon as I get done with this. Now when this cools down some, I will wax this end. You don't want to put the wax on when it's too hot or it just burns. It's still too hot down in there, but this is just kind of warm here. See? That's why you gotta wait. But it kinda, can you see that? Looks like a little leaf. A crude little leaf. Let's let this cool down, then I'll get a rag to put on here and we'll just see how she looks and works. Right here it is. I think that was a good idea to do that little bend, because now I got a handful there. And now the idea for this, from the way I believe it's supposed to be done, I got like a terry cloth towel here, and I'm just going to see if I can jab that through there. And then just kind of keep, I started kind of on this corner and I'm going to go towards the other corner and just thread it on there a few times. See if I can hold it up here where you can see what I'm doing. That ought to be just about enough. And now there it is. I got me a cold dauber. And keep the handle cool dauber when I've got some steel in there. Let's dunk it in the water here and see what it how it works. That green bucket's my quench bucket. Looks like it's kind of rusty muddy. And I can just, let's go up to the fire there. But I can take my wet rag and kind of cool stuff down a little bit. And then when I'm done, I can hang it right there when I don't need it. And as far as those tongs go, these are the ones I made. You see how the handles go clear together? It doesn't give you much. You can't, if they were apart, I could leverage on them like these. I can get some twisting action going. So I think I'm going to have to readjust these, and I don't like the way I bent those on the ends. So these are going back in the fire to get some tweaking.